If you're into basketball, you may have noticed that the LA Clippers have now unveiled a new brand for their team. With any new brand unveiling, there are always people who love it and people who hate it. As a branding expert with over 100 launches under my belt, I'm going to dig into the nitty-gritty of this new brand and explore the good, the bad, and the downright ugly, if there are any. Are you ready? Let's get into it. So the Clippers engaged Doubleday and Cartwright to help create their new brand. They also employed the help of Matthew Wolff, whose past notable works include Paris Saint-Germain and the Minnesota Twins. Before we start dissecting the new brand, let's get into a bit of history. As far as the branding world is concerned, the Clippers have never had a decent brand. From their early days back in the 70s when they were the Buffalo Braves to when they named themselves the San Diego Clippers in the 80s, their brand has been mediocre at best. In 1982, they embarked on their major rebrand and then kept the brand up until 2015, when Steve Ballmer, the famous Microsoft executive, initiated a complete rebrand. This rebrand was not groundbreaking by any means, but was signaling a major change in the organization's aspirations to be taken seriously and not always play second fiddle to the Lakers. I have to admit that I appreciated the simplicity of the 2015 rebrand, and the monogram, even though it was very predictable and simplistic, it had a certain appeal. Having said that, the new brand was still pretty raw and did not have an amazing marketing potential. This all came to an end with the introduction of their newly minted brand, which I'm going to get into next. First, let's dissect the main icon. My first impressions is that the icon is trying to do too much. There are way too many concepts crammed into one icon. We have the ship, the compass, the letter C, and the basketball, and one more subtle reference to an anchor with the serifs at the opening of the letter C. There is a simpler version of the logo which is just the letter C and the compass lines. I like the thickness of it, but that partial logo looks unfinished. I would have preferred just the letter C and none of the compass notches. Overall, it is an interesting concept and attempts to tie the brand back to its nautical origins from the San Diego harbor. However, I don't think it is successful in execution. Also, the ship iconography appears more like a yacht or a cruise ship as opposed to an old clipper. It would have been fairly easy to overcome that visual challenge, but they decided to employ this version anyway. Overall, it's a very thoughtful and clean execution, but that does not make it a good monogram. Now let's discuss the typeface. The designers claim that the typeface was inspired by the naval typography. I'm not really seeing that. Old naval posters from that era would have used Western-inspired typography considering the proximity of San Diego to Mexico and their typography aesthetics. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt that they loosely based their efforts on those, but to make a bold claim in pushing the design, it is a bit of a stretch. Having said that, the type itself has good structure and bones, and I like it. I'm hoping that they would make it into an actual font and use it on more marketing and promotional assets. Let's move on to the color selection. Overall, I really like the sophisticated navy and the muted red, plus the hint of the light blue. I understand the rationale for using the dark navy. They needed a high contrasting color to be able to have the monogram stand out on white. However, the navy alone is too dark. In addition, the red and light blue accents are too thin and don't really show when the main seal is reduced to very small sizes. I think the combination of colors works well on jerseys and will work well on apparel, but I feel that this rebrand could use more color in general. I'll reserve judgment to see more designs hitting the market to make a final assessment, but as it stands, I think the brand is very monotone. Moving on to novelty typefaces. The standalone LA monogram is fire, I have to admit. I really like it, and I love to see it applied to more places. The cursive clippers and clip typeface is also very well designed. I know that they're going to use those on the jerseys, and that is very wise. However, that kind of negates the entire effort to create the new monogram anyway. When Golden State created their retro style monogram of the Golden State Bridge, they made it the center point of their jersey redesign. I think it would be a shame to put so much into developing a monogram with so much detail, then only use it on the bottom of the shorts. At least the new jersey unveiling is sending that message. That is how they're going to use it. I guess that is more of a Nike's decision than the Clippers, since they appear to have the final say on designing the team jerseys for the NBA anyway. Now let's review the jersey designs. The jerseys are very simple, yet benefit from some details that make them unique. Utilizing the naval flag signs on the sides is a clever design choice. It elevates the simple jersey. Overall, there isn't anything special about the jersey designs. They remind me of old school 76ers jerseys of the 80s. I really like those, by the way. And that is why I think these new jerseys are very good looking. The color combinations are predictable, but they're very nice. I wish they would use the light blue more to tie it more to the old nautical themes. So, what is my final verdict? Overall, I think that the rebrand is sound, and I appreciate the effort to create something sophisticated and meaningful that attempts to acknowledge history. Some of the details, like the typefaces and nautical references, are nice. However, I believe that they could have done less and still got more. The rebrand appears a bit confused and all over the place. For instance, the use of the nautical flags on the side of the jerseys is a nice touch, but they could have leveraged them as brand elements and possibly incorporated them into the main logo or the seal. My biggest gripe with the brand launch, though, is how much they released. Are these it? Is there more to this brand than just these few elements? When I do a brand launch, there is so much that needs to be hashed out. A simple brand presentation that shows the sketches, the nautical inspirations that they claim they have based the decisions and typeface on, the color inspiration and rationale, something. I'm going to keep my hopes up that over the next few weeks, more of these will trickle in, but I have my doubts. So in summation, is the rebrand good? Well, it is a step up from what they had before. Could it be better? Absolutely. I don't see this brand last a long time. It will get refined or redone at some point in the near future. But if we look at Clippers' branding history, they tend to stay with a crappy brand for a long time. So I might be waiting for a while before they do anything to this one. If you found this content helpful, hit that subscribe button and let's build brands that thrive. Hey, you. Are you looking for great branding content? Yeah? What are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. It's right here. I made it really easy, right here. Or check out these other amazing videos I've produced for you, for free. It's right here. Subscribe. Other videos. Yeah, good stuff.